Listening Test 2.
Part 1.
You will hear a verbal conversation between two people talking about an apartment. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hi, Mike. I'm Angela. Welcome to 13 Green Street.
Nice to meet you. I'm here to see the apartment.
I'm the real estate agent and I'm handling the sale of this place. I'm glad that you're interested in buying a place in Boston. I should tell you that there is one other party interested in this condo.
Oh, well, can you give me some information? I mean, how large is this place? And are there any problems?
The surface area is 132 square meters. That includes the courtyard, area outside, which has a stone patio, and space for outdoor activities and barbecues. Inside the apartment, there is one large ensuite master bedroom and two smaller bedrooms. There's a large bathroom with a new bath and shower. Downstairs, you have the kitchen, a separate dining room, and here's the living area. There's another bathroom on this floor.
Is there an office?
Well, there's a spare room as you head towards the courtyard. It could be used as an office.
Can you tell me something about the area? We're really looking for a place that's suitable for families.
Then you've definitely chosen the right spot. There are many settled families living in this suburb.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 6 to 10.
It's only a 10-minute walk to the local primary school, and it's not far from two secondary schools, St. Mary's and Mission College.
What about transport? I work from home, but my wife works in sales, so she's on the road.
You're adjacent to the motorway, which takes you north to the city centre or south to the outskirts. It's very convenient, really. If you prefer public transport, the 45 bus stop is just outside your door.
Oh, does that mean some excessive traffic noise?
Not really. It's a pretty quiet street. In fact, it's so quiet that the kids play football right here on the road.
The location is suitable. I'm just concerned about the price. $750,000 seems high, especially as the floors need to be redone, and there are some cracks in the wall in the kitchen.
The price is due to its location. This area is the best suburb of the city and is in constant demand.
Well, I'd like to make a bid of $700,000 on the house, as I still think the price is too high.
You're welcome to make a bid any time, and you can make an offer that is below the price asked for. However, I should tell you that the other interested party has made another offer already.
I'll discuss it with my wife, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
That's fine. Thanks for your interest, and I hope to hear from you soon. That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Part 2. You will hear a presentation about eco-buildings. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15. Welcome everyone to our first meeting about sustainable housing. We're discussing eco-friendly houses and unique materials we can use in the construction of these houses. Please turn towards the slides on the screen that show the positioning and architecture of homes in a sustainable residence. On this first slide, look carefully at the location and design of the building. The house should be built facing the sun during the day to allow light to enter the home. This will reduce the use of electricity or other energy to heat the building, particularly in winter time. Similarly, positioning the building close to wooded areas allows it to be shaded from the blaring sun during summer months, reducing the cost of air conditioning. We're now moving on to the topic of construction materials. Our goal in sustainable construction is to stop using concrete. It's no secret that concrete is one of the most damaging substances to the environment. It is estimated to be responsible for 4 to 8% of carbon emissions, half of which are given off during the production of clinker, one of the components of concrete. Enormous amounts of water are used to produce concrete, which in turn causes drought in regions with a lack of water. The use of concrete in urban areas increases the temperature as it absorbs sunlight and traps gas fumes. Dust from concrete production units and quarries are highly polluted. Concrete crushes the local ecosystem, destroying wildlife habitats and precious plants. However, there are several eco-friendly materials which we can use to replace concrete that are cheap and accessible. On this slide, you can see a group of people harvesting cork in a forest. Cork is a natural material derived from trees that is renewable. No deforestation is needed to source cork from tree bark. The cork grows back on the tree once harvested, and the material is recyclable. Cork is used to create attractive house tiles and blocks for large or small buildings. Another great material for construction is coffee husks, the shell of the coffee bean which is normally thrown away. When mixed with recycled plastic, the husks are used to create eco-friendly homes in Central and South America. The material is sturdy, durable, and recyclable. Recycled newspaper can be converted into a timber-like material and offers a solution to renew paper waste. A unique product is mycelium, a type of fungus which is ideal for non-toxic building and home insulation. That is the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3.
You will hear 3 people discussing a topic. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Hi Emily, Matthew. Did you hear about the Sustainable School campaign?
Yes, we did. So, what do you think about it?
I think it's great. I was hoping for a long time that the school would stop cars from entering campus. They are noisy, create problems for pedestrians, and the pollution is awful.
I agree. I cycle to school every day and I hate cycling behind cars.
Oh yeah? I didn't know you cycled. How long have you been doing that?
Actually, I walked to campus for 1 year, but it was exhausting. I bought a mountain bike last month. It's faster and very convenient, especially as the cars are now off campus.
As part of the Sustainable School campaign, the Dean also announced a plastic-free canteen. Isn't that progressive? It's about time the school stopped using plastic.
I'm not so sure I agree with you. I don't think it's possible to eradicate all plastic from the canteen. I mean, what about plastic boxes, plastic containers, and utensils?
Well, when they talked about a plastic-free canteen, I think they meant soft plastics, the type of plastic that can't be used again. So we're replacing plastic straws and bottles with paper and glass ones.
Well, that makes sense. I just think it's inaccurate for the school to call the canteen plastic-free when it isn't really.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now, answer questions 26 to 30.
It's complicated. It's not easy to find green solutions to plastic. However, I did hear about a new non-plastic food packaging yesterday.
Really? What's that?
It's made from a product called casein. It's a non-porous material that doesn't allow oxygen to penetrate it, so it keeps food fresh longer. And the best part is you can eat it. It's edible. So scientists add flavors to make it tastier.
That's innovative. I would definitely buy that product. Did you hear about PET-Ase? It's an enzyme some researchers discovered in Japan. They were just wandering around this dump and came across plastic bottles being eaten by this enzyme. After multiple tests and research, they were able to develop this enzyme in the lab, and now it's being used to safely dissolve thousands of plastic bottles.
Amazing. What else is our school doing for the sustainable campaign?
They're doing a Green Waste Day. Every student must bring their rubbish to a new recycling center on campus and divide it into compost, clothing, plastic, glass, and paper.
I think all the initiatives are great. The plan for no cars on campus, the plastic-free canteen, and now the recycling rule.
It'll be mandatory for all students to do this every week, otherwise you'll get a fine. You have to pay the fine to the college for breaking the recycling rules.
Wow, that's strict, isn't it?
Yes, but how else can they get people to recycle? I'm all for it.
Why don't we all meet up on Tuesday midday so we can sort out the rubbish?
I can meet you Thursday midday instead. I'll be meeting my parents on Tuesday.
That suits me. Emily? Richard?
That's perfect. See you both Thursday.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Part 4. You will hear a lecture on the South Pacific Islands. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Deep in the southeast end of the Asia Pacific is an archipelago of islands, tropical jewels in the corner of the southern hemisphere. They are the South Pacific Islands, part of the oceanic group of countries. The most well-known islands are Polynesia, Micronesia, and Melanesia, but there are many other smaller islands. This mysterious and exotic region was first colonized by the adventurer and explorer Captain James Cook in 1774. Although its tropical climate enjoys sunshine most of the year, there is a high risk of hurricanes in the winter months, between November and April. The most famous island is Polynesia, which attracts many foreign visitors throughout the year. It enjoys an active tourist industry year-round due to its stunning beaches, scenery, and pleasant climate. It is located in the Polynesian Triangle, which is situated between New Zealand and Hawaii. It comprises several archipelagos, including Samoa, French Polynesia, Tuvalu, and Tonga. Many are volcanic islands. Tahiti is the largest island, where the great mountain of Orena towers over the island. It is 2,066 meters in altitude, with a panoramic view of the island from the summit. Other attractive sites include the botanical gardens and the beautiful waterfall of Fautau, which can be reached after a long and arduous hike through the rainforest. The region of Nuku Hiva is well worth a visit and has a rich vegetation of coconut, papaya, and grapefruit farms. Before you hear the rest of the lecture, take some time to read questions 37 to 40. Now, answer questions 37 to 40. Another well-known Polynesian island is Pora Pora, more commonly known as Bora Bora. It's located along the Leeward Islands. It comprises 30.55 square kilometers. Its principal island is surrounded by a large reef and a beautiful blue lagoon. This island hosts an extinct volcano comprising Mount Paia and Mount Otamanu, spanning 727 meters. As Bora Bora is a French territory, the languages spoken in this region are French, Tahitian, and English. The main island of Bora Bora looks over Hitia Bay in the northwest and Fanui Bay, Turaupau Bay, and Povai Bay in the west. There are two adjacent volcanic islands, Tupu and Tupu Iti. A wide coral reef circles the main island, protecting Bora Bora from the ocean winds. The corals and sea plants create blue, purple, red, and yellow colors in the ocean waters. A small opening to the sea, the Tiovanui Passage, allows ships with cargo or tourists to enter and exit the islands. The boats cannot enter a harbour as the lagoons are too shallow. This shallow lagoon is home to hundreds of tropical fish, where divers and snorkelers can explore these marine treasures. Tourists normally visit during the dry months of the year, between June and October, when they can enjoy cruises of the lagoon, swimming with tamed sharks, trekking the island, and spending time on Matera Beach. Tourists can also experience the local culture by watching Tahitian dance and music. East of New Caledonia and west of Fiji is the lesser-known island of Vanuatu. It was originally inhabited by the native Melanesian people, but was colonized by the Spanish in 1640. Later, it was claimed by the UK and Britain until it finally gained independence in the 1970s. Like Polynesia, the climate of Vanuatu has mostly sunny and warm weather. There is a stretch of volcanoes across the island, both underwater and on land. As this little country becomes more developed in recent years, industries such as tourism and fishing begin to thrive. Its waters are rich in a variety of marine life, including 4,000 species of mollusks, hundreds of fish, and saltwater crocodiles. Most tourist activities involve cruising the blue lagoons of the islands, exploring the crystal waterfalls, and parasailing in the Port Vila harbour. Vanuatu has several volcanoes, even under the water, and there have been recent eruptions without any casualties until now. This region was initially lush with plants and forests. However, this island now shows signs of a deforestation crisis due to slash and burn agriculture. Moreover, there is soil erosion and landslides because of intensive agriculture to feed the growing population. While Vanuatu continues to attract visitors, it's urgent that its ecology and biodiversity is protected immediately before there is further damage. This is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answer sheet.